DW, it's a 2-mile racetrack. We come back around the next time at the start-finish line over 190 miles an hour. Reach up there, pull them belts tight one more time.
Here we go. Here we go. Get ready. Get ready. Boogity, 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 boys. Let's go racing.
Like both guys on the front row got a good start. Kasey Kahne in the 9, Joe Nemechek in the 01.
And here comes Nemechek's teammate right behind him, Scott Riggs, trying to give him a little push with the draft.
Let's hold our breath on this first lap, because remember what happened to our pole setter here last year.
Started the 09 car for James Finch that was qualified by Johnny Benson.
And Larry, you talked about Dale Jr.'s car. A lot of times when they change a lot of things on the car, it also takes you a couple of laps to get the feel of it back to what the changes were made.
Yeah, he's up to 14th position right now. He rides on the outside of Jeff Gordon in the 24.
Kasey Kahne comes pounding around the outside. He wants the lead back. He's got the room, but Nemechek hangs on by a car length on the left of your screen.
And on the right-hand side of the screen, you see the battle for 12th, 13th, 14th. Jamie McMurray in the 42 car on the outside.
If I'm going to win this race, I want to be on the bottom when the day is over with. Right now, that outside is very enticing, but you got to be on the bottom to win this race. Got a little racy for this early in the race. Boy, look at Jeff Gordon. He's looking all the way. They're going to be 4 wide. Here he comes. Got the line. Makes the pass.
But that's what's great about this racetrack. You can run 4 or 5 wide down the straightaways. You can run 3 wide through the corners.
You can run 4 wide as long as the other 3 will let you.
Of Wallace's car, and has kicked the fender up just a little bit. But look at the 48. Oh, and Stewart gets together with Gordon.
Well, let's see. Now that's Rusty and that's Jeff, and we're only 10 laps in the race.
And I just think back to a week ago at Talladega, all that beating and banging. How many tires did we see go flat because of that?
Well, let's see this one.
He's down there. Now, your car will push out right there, but you got to realize that, you know, there's another car there.
And Gordon had no room to move to the right.
Mike, a lap and a half ago, the concern for Tony Stewart was telling his spotter to go down and talk to Jeff Gordon's spotter. Tell him that I apologize. I just did not know he was there. That's what his spotter, Mark Robinson, did. Walked down and talked to Ron Thiel, passed along the apology.
Jeff Gordon has passed Joe Nemechek for 4th. 2 Hendrick Chevys flying toward the front, Jeff Gordon and Jimmie Johnson, but they're going to have to go some to catch Kasey Kahne and Ryan Newman.
And you'd think after a while these guys would finally get it through their head. You can't run all that tape in the race.
Well, again, you know, Jeannie's saying that he has a piece of trash there, but they're running so much tape on the nose to increase the front downforce, help the drag. There's no margin for error if something gets on the grill. Exactly. And what he would like to do is get up there to Kasey Kahne or somebody, and it changes the air pressure on the nose of the car and will suck that piece of trash off.
So what do? Do you go to Kasey's spotter and ask him to back up and pick you up?
I think not.
I think he would say
good idea.
I think he'd probably say not.
I would like to be able to do that, but I don't think that'll happen.
And here's why. Jeff Gordon and Jimmie Johnson. The DuPont and Lowe's Chevrolets are coming fast, bringing Jeff Green with them. Watch in the corner, though. Gordon has been running the low line. Jimmie Johnson has been going upstairs.
And again, that's just the car dictates it. It's not necessarily driver preference. It's just where your car handles the best and runs the best at this point in the race.
Well, his teammates, Jeff Gordon, crazy loose during the final practice, now living the other end of the spectrum, but just before the caution, Jeff said the car was starting to free up. No changes, 4 tires. Matt?
Kasey Kahne already in. The driver's good. The car needs a little bit of work. A half a turn down on the track bar and an air pressure adjustment called by crew chief Tom Baldwin Jr. as he's down and away. Kasey said the car was just getting looser and looser.
Jimmie Johnson here later on. Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart get together again. I mean,
single file restart. All the cars that are on the racetrack, with the exception of Hermie Sadler, who's in the garage here, but everybody's on the lead lap right now.
Tony Stewart, multiple pit stops, trails the field as Jeff Gordon goes to work on Ryan Newman for 2nd.
Now, Tony Stewart, you might say, oh, he's in trouble. But remember, fuel mileage is huge here. He's been in and out of the pits and had a chance to top off.
Got a battle for 2nd here. I watched him through 3 and 4 the last time. Ryan Newman in the 12 went to the high side as he's doing here through 1 and 2. And Jeff Gordon is hugging that white line just like he did the last time through 3 and 4 in the 24 car.
Darrell, what we used to always see at Michigan was the car on the outside would carry more RPM through the middle of the corner and would often get off the corner better than the car that took the short way around. Same thing here?
Well, we've had a debate going on about the gear ratios. If you pull a really low gear, you can shoot up off the corner, but you're not going to get quite as good a fuel mileage. So maybe Ryan's got a little higher gear running the high line, keeping the RPM up, but he isn't getting off the corner quite as good.
While these guys are doing this, though, Greg Biffle in the 16, Jimmie Johnson in the 48 are pulling right up to him. It looked like Ryan in the 12 car, Ryan Newman, got a heck of a run off turn 1 and 2 that time, so he'll pull him about 2 car lengths down the backstretch.
Into a good victory today.
Jeff Gordon takes second from Ryan Newman. Gordon, one of 5 drivers in this race who come from California. 6 drivers here from North Carolina, 5 from Virginia, and 3 unrelated drivers from one town, Owensboro, Kentucky.
Yeah, I know where that is. You know, Jeff Gordon has got momentum. Even you can say, well, he didn't really win the race last week. He really did win the race, ever how you want to look at it. But that's big coming to this race.
Let me tell you who's got momentum right now, though, is that 48 car, that Lowe's car, Jimmie Johnson. It has that Jimmie Johnson look about it. You talked about a man on a mission, Matt Kenseth. Ever since this race team, the second race of the year, was involved in that crash, kicked way out of the top 10 in points, they have been on a mission all the way up to second points, and now he's up to 3rd place behind his car owner, Jeff Gordon, at 24.
Well, you remember the video earlier, guys, the little meet and greet between the 20 and the 24 car. During the last pit stop for Jeff Gordon, they came in, they looked at that left front fender, really just cosmetic damage. I don't want to say minor, since nothing is minor where the arrow is concerned, but let's just say in the 24 pit, they are not concerned. And also a sigh of relief in the 12 pit. When Ryan Newman came in for his last pit stop, they did indeed get the trash off the grill, and they are noticing that it has not affected the engine, and they're watching the water temperature go down. Steve?
Coming to 44 laps, 88 miles in Fontana, California. The lead has shrunk. As you just saw, Kasey Kahne now leads Jeff Gordon by just 0.2 of a second. Jimmie Johnson, Greg Biffle, Matt Kenseth, Ryan Newman trying to hold off Jeff Green for 6th. Terry Labonte up to 8th. Kevin Harvick, Elliott Sadler, your top 10.
Right there, though, 24 car, Jeff Gordon, that's where his car's been working the best, right around the bottom of the racetrack, especially in the middle of the corner where Kasey Kahne's about 2 lanes up in the 9.
It just appears that Jeff's got a little wee bit lower gear than some of these cats do to me, because he can really jump off the corner. Of course, you get back in it early, you're going to come off the corner better than the other guys.
Singular virtual crew chief question. Vote now from your Singular wireless phone by sending the text message Fox to phone number 191 or visit foxsports.com. Stay tuned for the results. When in doubt, pick C.
All the above?
Yeah. Or D, you know.
None of the above.
Just kidding, folks. Because Jeff Gordon is about to inhale Kasey Kahne for this lead.
Well, he can get there. He obviously closed up on him, but Kasey is still a good 10th or so quicker on his good laps. He got in it and the car took off, and that's how Jeff Gordon got around him. You know, the 98 car blows up right in front of these guys, and I believe, and it's right where Kasey was running, and he takes off. He loses the car just for a second, but he did not hit the wall.
Looked like the difference being Kahne was in the track of oil. Jeff Gordon was not.
Exactly. It was right in the groove where Kasey was running, and Jeff was running below it.
Sometimes you can make your own luck.
Yeah.
A minor wedge adjustment there, Jeannie.
Well, Jeff Gordon saying this car doesn't need a lot, just a little bit, real good on entry. It's tight when I pick up the throttle, just air pressure adjustments to the rear tires and taking 4 of them. Matt?
A great save by Kasey Kahne, only lost 1 spot. His pit road in the 2nd position, left side tires going on.
Gordon going to try it again on the bottom for the lead at 65 laps.
Jeff Gordon in the 24 car, he's been running that bottom ever since the start of the race. It just sometimes, like you talked earlier, Darrell, it's hard to complete the pass off the corner.
Yeah, you need the whole racetrack to let the car drift out all the way to the wall to keep your momentum up. But he made the pass there, and he might just check out on these guys.
How about Biffle, though, in that 16 car, Matt Kenseth's teammate? He goes side by side. This is a battle for second. His car's good on long runs. He squeezes in there.
Yeah, he got that run off the turn 2 over there, and he's putting the pressure on Jeff going down into 3.
It's no longer pressure, I don't think.
There is nobody that drives harder than Greg Biffle. I tell you, he drives as hard as he can go every lap.
I saw Gordon try to go into the corner with him and lose the nose just a bit, trying to go in as hard as Biffle did.
Yeah, that side draft, when the car goes by you, it can suck that back in right around.
Well, I tell you what, he's sucking up to him right now. It's his teammate, Jimmie Johnson, in that Lowe's 48 car. He's up there battling for 3rd. He takes 3rd away from Kenseth in the 17.
Guys, watching that pass by Greg Biffle, it looked to me like he may have clipped the left rear quarter panel of Jeff Gordon. May have pulled some of that rear bumper loose on the 24 car. He got so close to him.
Right now, behind Jeff Gordon in the 24 car.
Well, remember what I told you I'd do last night? I'd go to the care center. I would have been at that care center last night, get me a couple of quarts of fluids put in me, knowing how hot it was going to be today.
Kasey Kahne to the inside of Jeff Gordon. This is for second place. They're about 0.8 of a second behind leader Greg Biffle, and Kasey Kahne, the pole sitter, is headed back to the front. Matt?
A very solid day for Ray Evernham's Dodge as Kasey Kahne working his way back up to where he started first, currently in second.
I mean, he's a cat that almost won this race last year.
Third place battle. Jeff Gordon has been caught by Matt Kenseth. Caught and passed.
That car just gets better the longer it runs. If it stays under green, he drives to the front.
Don't have to talk about hot rods today because everything is hot in sunny Southern California on this spring day. Jeremy Mayfield, the 19, moving on Jeff Gordon. This now for fourth place.
Which is not that the Roush cars seem to have a lot of problem with that.
But Darrell, we've been seeing it all year long. A lot of ignition box problems from a lot of race teams. Remember, NASCAR has moved where these ignition boxes, they have to be mounted. They're mounted right underneath that windshield. I bet you right now, if you laid your hand on those ignition boxes, you couldn't even touch them. They'd be so hot.
Good point. Jeff Gordon has just slid to sixth place. Jeannie, does he have a problem?
Mike, I guess slid would be the operative word because that's pretty much how Jeff Gordon is describing his ride right now. He can't really get a good grip on the car right now. He thinks there might be something wrong with the right rear tire, quite possibly the tire going down.
The 1997 winner, showing, as we talked about the top of the show, you just can't pick a favorite here.
And when these things get evil and they don't drive good, they start sliding around, that's the first thing you think. I got a tire going down.
You don't want a tire going down at almost 200 miles per hour.
With Kurt Busch that Rusty could not avoid Busch's spinning car. So we stay green.
You know, I got my heart goes out to Biffle. He could have won every Busch race had engine failure.
If you do change your driving style so I can adjust the fuel mileage predictions accordingly.
Well, yeah, man, I mean, this is the time of the race.
Risen to the occasion as we take a look at his teammate, Jeff Gordon, trying to make a move on Robbie Gordon for fourth place on the outside of him right there coming off the corner.
Gordon and Gordon, a lot of colors flashing there, and two guys born in the state of California. In fact, Jimmie Johnson said it's good to go back to his home state where he got his first win as we watch Robbie Gordon and Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, back to the inside, Robbie Gordon with his 31 car. But Jeff looks like he's got that high side really working well.
And currently, Jeremy Mayfield running second behind Jimmie Johnson, and Kasey Kahne, the pole sitter in a Dodge, currently running third. The wear and tear of engines on a 500-mile race. We've worked the heat theme all day. It certainly is playing in and will as we continue throughout.
What you got to look at here is the sustained RPM these cars will carry around this racetrack for 500 miles.